The golf swing is one of the most complex movements in all of sport, but when done correctly, you make the game look easy and you can hit shots just like this one here. And after coaching well over 1,000 golf lessons, I've discovered that it all comes down to one simple thing, that when you get right, every other tip or drill you try will feel easier to add into your golf game. And that's exactly what I'm going to share with you in today's video. So for those of you who are new to the channel, welcome. I'm Harry, a golf teach professional, posting content just like this every single week to help you lower your scores. So consider clicking that subscribe button, as it helps me produce more content like this every single week, and it's completely free to do. And a month or so ago, we were given an exclusive discount code from the partners of the channel, Satori Golf, of 20% off your entire order. It went down so well for them that they would like to extend this offer to you for the rest of the month. So up to the end of May, you can get yourself 20% off your entire order with these incredible polos. I wear them, really pleased with the fit and the quality of the material. They are excellent, so I recommend checking them out. And if you purchase more than one polo, you will get free shipping on your order as well. So make sure you check them out later on. So the key that this all comes down to then is all to do with the trail arm, the wrist and the hand. The way we set the arm, the way we work this arm, hand and wrist into the backswing and downswing has such a huge effect on the way we swing the golf club, on the way we hit the golf ball, and the overall golf shot, the outcome that we see, whether it's a fade, draw, slice, or hook, preferring that draw or fade, of course. So what we're going to do is break these two down into two different parts. We're going to look into the arm, how the actual trail arm should be working in your golf swing, and then we're going to be looking at the wrist and the hand. These two play two different parts, but when we start to combine them is the key for your golf swing. So when we take a look at the trail arm, you'll notice on the screen here now an example of the way I've set up to the golf ball in this internally rotated position, which is what we tend to see a lot of golfers do at the address position, and a different address position where we have the trail arm set into a more externally rotated position. What you'll notice with this trail arm here, in this externally rotated position, is that the butt end of the elbow is facing away from me. It's facing away from my body as the elbow faces towards the body. Now the poor example, the example that we see too many golfers make, is the opposite, where we see the elbow facing away from the body and the butt end of the elbow facing more towards the body. Taking a look at those two examples again on the screen, you can see a big difference in the way this causes me to set to the golf ball. And as I begin to take the club back now, what we'll notice is if we have it in this internally rotated position and we begin to take the club back, we can go to roughly around the first part of the golf swing here, where the club reaches just before parallel to the ground in a relatively decent position. But then from here, I've got to drag my elbow this way. It's very hard for me to go from this internally rotated position to externally rotated. Very difficult to do in the golf swing. So we'll see too many golfers internally rotated and they'll flare this elbow out as they make the way into the top of the golf swing. And that's where we tend to see this flying right elbow at the top of the golf swing. Now, if I was just to change this at the address position by simply taking my hand out with the palm facing towards the ground and I move that palm so the palm faces towards the sky, it does so much to my right arm, my trail arm in particular, just because of this rotation. So rather than internal rotation, external rotation, this makes it much easier for me now when I grip the golf club to simply fold the arm correctly. Now when I say correctly, you can see there again, taking a look at those two pictures, either side of the screen here, look at the difference. You can see there that this arm being too flared out at the top of the golf swing is only going to encourage you to do one thing in the downswing, and that's to try and loop it back in. If we're already set in the top of the golf swing like this here, it's going to make a world of difference for you. You won't need to react. You're going to be able to transition correctly, get that downswing sequence underway to make solid contact with the golf ball. Now what I've done there just at setup is just externally rotating my trail arm. Then I'm twisting the grip back so the palm faces the grip. I'm just placing my hand on like so. Now to start the golf swing with this trail arm, the key for this is allowing this arm to fold. If we allow this arm to fold with the elbow facing still towards the body. Look how easy it is for me to take the club into this parallel position, the takeaway position here, without allowing this arm to flare out. It's staying nice and connected here. But just to make things easier when you start practicing this, take your lead hand and place it on your right arm, your tricep muscle, and just allow this folding action to take place, keeping this arm tucked in. And once you do a couple of reps getting used to this, all you have to do from this point really is start to apply the rotation once you hit this parallel point. So we've kept the arm in, we've set it working away into the backswing. Now we can start to rotate to increase this backswing. Rotation all the way up to the top of the golf swing. Now if that feels a little bit heavy, you can take your hand and place it right in the middle of the shaft. Simply set it like this here. The arm is already set into this position. We don't want to grip it the other way because that's now internally rotated. We want external rotation of this trail arm and just simply work the same motion. Allow it to rotate. Allow the arm to fold upwards as the body rotates round. You can see my body here and my arms. Another key checkpoint for either way you practice this, whether it's usually how we grip the golf club or placing the hand directly in the middle of the golf club itself. A good checkpoint to remember is that the arms and the body want to stay connected, but they want to be working in opposite directions. Rotation is key in the golf swing, and rotation is this lateral movement either side. The golf swing works on an upward motion all down to our arms, in particular this trail arm. So when it comes to swinging the golf club, just remember that when you practice this, is that the arm is going to fold upwards on this upward plane, and because the body rotates, it allows us to set the club on this 45-degree angle that we look for, with the butt end of the club pointing more towards the golf ball. So as long as we get the rotation, this lateral movement of the body, and the upward movement of the arm, that's going to make it much easier for you to set the club in a much more reliable position. And because you've done this correctly, you should find it easy just to hold onto the golf club at the top of your golf swing. When it comes to practicing this with both hands, I'd recommend just making a little crease underneath your trail arm like this so you can tuck it in and keep it tucked in throughout the golf swing. Now just remember though, when you tuck this in, we don't want to see this arm being tucked into the side of your body here. If it's tucked into the side of the body, we're going to get stuck and more likely drag this elbow inwards. We don't want the elbow and the arm to follow the body too much. We want to see those two work in opposites. So I'm just going to take this crease, place it under my arm, but you can see here from the side on view, I'm allowing my arm to come over and out in front. Then I just set my arm again, grip the golf club, and now I'm ready to work this into my normal golf swing. Getting that rotation, so the twisting, then allow my arm to fold, keeping that crease tucked into my right arm as I make my way into the backswing, all the way up to the top. And then from here, we can simply do a reverse movement of what we've just done, the opposite movement, working it back down into the golf ball. So we're going 1 to set it, 2 rotate, and the arm works upwards, 3 back down to that parallel point, and then we're hitting the golf ball from there. You can practice this and work on this in stages, building this up into all in one motion golf swings, and it should look something like this. There you go, pretty good shot there, good strike, way more control, but I must admit I have hit a couple slightly left of the flag and one there ever so slightly right of the flag. So how can I get a bit more consistency with the direction? The arm there is to help with the strike. Direction is all to do with what my wrist and hand does. Now before I dive into that, I just wanted to let you know that I do offer in-person and online golf coaching. So if you'd like more personalized tips to suit your needs, feel free to check out the 2 links in the description below with my in-person lesson link and the online coaching link there as well. So to kickstart this trail wrist and hand and how they work, feel free to take a look at these 2 on the screen here, the two photos either side, the screenshots. Now you'll notice that the poor way of hitting the golf ball is where we'll tend to see in this lead wrist extension at impact, where we usually see the hands well behind the club head at impact. When we have a look at better players and the way they strike the golf ball is they'll have their hands more ahead of the golf club at impact, with this lead wrist set into an ever so slightly more flexed position. So the key at impact is to be able to go from extension at address to flexion at impact. That's so important to be able to get to improve the ball striking, but also have way more club face control. If we tend to get extension into the backswing with this lead wrist, what tends to happen, a lot of movement of the club face, which causes it to go into an open position. If I was just to return this back now to the golf ball, we've got no chance of hitting the golf ball unless we back out of it. That causes my hands to stay behind the golf ball, and it makes it difficult for me to get that rotation as well into the downswing. If we set it in a way and we're able to set it and hold it throughout our golf swing, where we go from extension to reducing this extension into flexion into the backswing, and we make our way back down to impact, we have to keep our hands ahead to square up the face. That's way more consistent. Way more consistent, and that's what we see all the tall players do, all the great players, the really good players do at impact. They set themselves up for success by reducing this extension in their golf swing and turning it into a more flexed position. So as they make their way through to impact, they can strike the golf ball with a very much so squared face. The key for this is all to do with the lead hand and wrist, of course, but to be able to change that, I find it easier focusing on my trail hand and wrist. So when you take a look at that video again of me just taking the club back to this point here, what you'll notice is rather than taking a look at my lead wrist, have a look at my trail wrist, what my right wrist and hand are doing. What they are doing is setting in a way where they are hinging upwards and allowing the palm to face towards the ground. If I was to make a swing here and have the palm facing upwards, look what happens. We get that extension. If we keep the palm facing towards the ground, look what allows my trail wrist to do. It hinges it and it keeps this lead wrist into a more flexed position on the way back. Look at the club face angle here, parallel with my spine angle as I make my way up to the first part of the golf swing here, which is bang on. That's where we want to see it in your golf swing. So as you're taking the club back and you're feeling this sensation from the trail arm, you've set it this way, your rehearsal is to obviously fold this arm, but allow this trail wrist to hinge upwards, to set upwards, so the palm faces towards the ground. Using one hand, just practicing this lead hand back onto the trail tricep, we're just working our way into the backswing, allowing this hinge to take place in that trail wrist, right palm face the ground. We continue this and hold this up to the top of the golf swing. We continue and hold this all the way through to impact. Now, when you practice this slow motion, you'll find it very easy to do, very easy to hold this wrist setting that you have here throughout your golf swing. But as you start to implement more speed and add this into your all-in-one motion golf swing, it becomes very tricky to rehearse, especially if you're a golfer out there at the moment, so used to flipping the golf club this way and seeing this extension in that lead wrist. So the question is there something that we can use to be able to help us set the wrist into the backswing, but mainly hold this position during the downswing and at the moment of impact? And there is, and this device is the Precision Impact. Now, how this device works is what we want to be able to do is in the backswing here, clicks. We want to be able to hear clicks into the backswing, because look what that is doing from the side-on view here of my trail wrist. It's getting it to set into the backswing. It's getting it to hinge in the backswing here. So if I was to take my grip with my right hand onto the golf club from this position, it automatically sets myself up into this great takeaway position here, as opposed to seeing this extension. I can't grip the club from there, I've got to grip it from here. So much easier there, and as I make my way into the backswing, back down, it forces me here to hold the angle, and you can see here I can't get out of that position with my right hand. So it really forces me here to rotate to ensure that I'm keeping my hands ahead of the club face, and it encourages the proper release to take place. More of a what we call forearm rotational release as opposed to the wrist release. Wrist release is quite difficult to get consistent just because there's a lot of room for error as we open the face and close the face, especially from going from extension to flexion. So if we can control the hand and wrist of the trail arm correctly, we can get way more consistency by controlling this face throughout your golf swing and having more of this action during the backswing and downswing rather than open to closed, open to closed. To time that is a lot harder than timing this. You can be late or early as much as you want there. Way more consistency for you. So you can do this, of course, without the precision impact. This just makes it much easier for me, and it'll make it much easier for you to really implement these feels throughout your golf swing, especially when it comes to hitting shots that are full speed and full swing as well. So I'm just going to hit one here just to show you how this looks with the precision impact on. It takes a couple of shots just to get used to the feel of this. So I'm hinging into the backswing here, then I'm just holding this angle all the way through to finish. So let's see if I can get that one closer to the pin. That was really nice. Pretty much the same direction as the shot I hit before. Yeah, really nice strike, that one. And when we take a look at that one in slow motion, we can see there that's allowing my wrist and hand to work correctly. Now I've got my arm working in the correct motion. So what I would recommend you do is working on the arm movement first, then adding in the wrist movement. Now, to get yourself one of these precision impacts, you can get yourself $20 off your entire order using the discount code Harry20. I'll leave the link in the description below to get yourself one of these products. Amazing training aid that I would highly recommend to anyone who's looking to improve their wrist setting in their golf swing and also their ball striking and direction. I could go on. Don't forget to reach out to me if you're looking for more personalized coaching to suit your needs. Feel free to click the links in the description below, and I will look forward to meeting you and working with you to help you improve your golf swing. Now be sure to check out any of these two videos over here on the screen. The top one is all to do with almost an add-on to this and how you can make your way into the backswing and control what the trail arm, hand and wrist do in your golf swing. On the bottom one, if you're looking to implement more speed into your golf swing and see way more distance on your drives.